Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former 737 pilot, and in today's video let's have a look at a couple of tricks in the Microsoft and Hans Hartmann ATR 72600 and 42600. In the absence of a manual, there are quite a lot of things that we can discover ourselves, and in this video I want to highlight a couple which I'm sure that you will find really useful for flying your ATR. So, hop into the flight deck with me, and let's get the thing up started. Trick number one. When you are importing a route, like we are going to do right now, from KPHL towards Charlie Yankee Tango Zulu, then in some occasions the aircraft might not add the destination airport to your flight plan. Let's go ahead and have a look, and obviously for the show effect it's doing it right now. But let's say that we did not have the destination airport over here. I'm sure that many of you have seen this already. Then you can always go to the flight plan page and go on to the lateral revision of a waypoint. So for example, let's say we want to go to Caxel, lateral revision, and then you can enter a new destination, and like that you can enter or add your destination airport to the flight plan. So I'm entering this right now, execute, and now when you have a look into the flight plan, you will see that your destination airport has all of a sudden been added. However, be aware that this is going to remove the waypoint which you used, in our case Caxel, from the flight plan as well. So you have to re-enter that. So let's take Caxel and put that back in, like this. And now our flight plan is basically complete again, but we have the destination airport available in here. Number two, when you are adding the weights on the weight page in the FMS, you can either go the long way around and try to find out everything by adding up your gas tank levels and by adding up the numbers on the payload page in the EFB, or you can go easy and simply press and hold the line select keys next to the zero fuel weight and the fuel on board. So let's do this right now. Press and hold, automatically filled in, fuel on board. Press and hold, automatically filled in. Do note that the fuel on board value is going to be off by some roundabout 30 kilograms, but apart from that, this works really well and saves you quite a bit of mental arithmetics. Number 3 is going to be particularly important for those GSX users among you. You will have noticed that when engine number 2 is started in hotel mode, GSX is going to refuse the pushback. Now, GSX have recently issued a patch for that. However, I still want to show you this one because it does get important in some other situations, such as when doing a cross-bleed start, where you start one engine on the stand as well. And for this one, we have to start up engine number 2 in hotel mode, so let's go ahead and do that. We've got the propeller brake on, fuel pump number 2 on, and start engine number 2. So, when the engine is started up in hotel mode, then you will notice that GSX is going to refuse to push you back as it pretends that the engine is running. Now, when that happens, basically you are kind of lost and you cannot do anything anymore. Here we have it. GSX, since number 2 runs in hotel mode, is now refusing to start its services. Now, let's go ahead and explore how we can do it nonetheless. Alright, we've requested our GSX pushback, and let's now say we want to go nose right. And now that GSX is in the release park and brake please mode, that is the moment where we can actually start up our engines and still have the GSX pushback available. So let's try that once more. Wing light on, fuel pump on the right side to run, the propeller brake is engaged. Start engine number 2. And again, we are putting it right into the hotel mode. And with engine number 2 now started in the hotel mode, let's go ahead and run our checklist, and then GSX can start our pushback as normal. Okay, external power can go, thank you very much. And then we turn on the beacon, run the before propeller rotation checklist. And that's going to be it. So, doors, still gonna close those. Okay, CDLS on, FMS and takeoff data confirmed. Trims on all axes are going to be set. Tail prop on board, doors closed, seatbelts on, beacon on before propeller rotation checklist complete. Okay.
Commencing push. All engines clear.
Parking brake off, and as we can see, GSX is now pushing us properly with the engine number 2 started in hotel modes. Easy, isn't it? Now again, the reason I'm showing you this is not because of showing GSX bugs, like I'm sure some people will say, because GSX has actually fixed this in the meantime. However, the next time you get an airplane that needs an engine start on stand, you're going to run right into this problem again. So this is how you can circumnavigate it. Wait until it says release park and brake, and then you can start up your engines. Alright then, point number 4. We've reached our holding point for our departure runway and we're about to enter the runway and take off. Now, here is something that I'm sure many of you have noticed. The ATR tends to pitch up and rotate all by itself if you have set the correct takeoff trim. In our case, a takeoff trim of 1 unit up has been calculated by the system and that is selected on the pitch trim there as well. However, we don't want our plane to start rotating all by itself, so let's go ahead and add a tiny bit of down trim there, let's say 0.3 units less, so looking at an up trim of about 0.7 units, and that should nicely remove the requirement to hold the control column forward to prevent the airplane from rotating by itself, while at the same time it should still give you a takeoff config okay. Let's go ahead and give that a try. I'm going to release the park and brake here in order to do the takeoff config check. We've got the button down here. As you can see, we see the takeoff config test OK message, and everything is good with a little bit of less trim. So, quite easy workaround there for that pitch up moment. V1, rotate. As you can see, I'm now letting go of my control column. Pitching the trim down a tiny bit here even gives you a very nice trim for your initial climb attitude for a nice V2 plus 10 speed. And this brings us nicely to point number 5. After you have set your power to climb, the torque limit will drop, but the NP, even though you have the props in auto, will get stuck at 100% instead of 82. The solution to that is to quickly move the prop axis to full and then back to auto. Now, that is going to basically reinitialize the code, and then it will work properly for the remainder of the flight. So, let's go ahead and give that a try. We're going to go gear up and set the climb torque. And this is what I've previously been talking about. You've got the climb torque set, but the NP is still stuck at 100%. So in order to more or less reset that code, here's what you do. Prop axis, 100%, and back to auto. And now, as you can see, you're getting correct NP for the climb, which is 82%. Alright, next up we are about to pass our transition altitude, and this might be especially important. Many of you simply set your altimeter setting by pressing the B key on your keyboard, which automatically sets your altimeter. However, this is going to cause some trouble with your aircraft leveling off. So what we have to do if you use the B key is as follows. Due to some internal logic, the airplane has more internal altimeters than it has actual altimeters. So if you use the B key, you have reset the QNH on all of those. However, that is going to cause trouble since the autopilot uses an altimeter that you cannot directly control the subscale setting of. So what we have to do in order to reset the altimeter to the standard pressure so that our autopilot is going to level off correctly is we quickly need to turn off real-life weather, press the B key in order to reset all our altimeters to 1013 or tune 992, and then we can turn live weather on again. So let's give that a try. Off, B, check standard, live weather on. And only now, once we have selected standard using the B key, we can press the push standard knob over here. We get our standard altimeter indication, and our airplane is going to level off at the correct altitude. Do note that this only applies if you did not select the QNH manually on the ground without using the B key. Number 7, if you intend to fly an ILS, localizer or VOR approach, basically anything where you need to pre-select a course, then you can actually do this quite easily. Right now we have the FMS-1 selected as active nav source and we are flying in LNAV. Now if you change this over to a VOR ILS-1, you will see the airplane is going to remain in LNAV, but VOR mode gets armed, so make sure that you do not have local VOR frequency selected, otherwise your aircraft might start turning towards that VOR. Now, from here on, we can now pre-select the localizer course. In our case, that's going to be 085 degrees. And here we go, 085 is now selected. So, put it back into FM1, and now you can see that it is basically flying back into LNAV once again. And we are approaching point number 8 on our list. We are currently turning base for the ILS approach into Toronto City Airport, and we are going to use LNAV in order to intercept the ILS. However, we want a smooth transition between LNAV and the approach mode, so this is how we are going to do it. Basically, with your airplane in LNAV and the appropriate ILS frequency selected, like we have it up here, we can keep the plane in LNAV, but switch the modes or the sources to ILS-1 and ILS-2. Now this is what we have previously set up, but you can see how your airplane is going to remain in the localizer mode and going to capture the ILS automatically once it starts approaching the localizer in LNAV mode. We should see that happen basically any moment. You can see the final turn is initiated by LNAV. And now the localizer should start coming alive any moment. And here we go, localizer capture. And now the airplane is turning itself onto the localizer automatically. Note that with strong intercept angles like 90 degrees and more, an overshoot can occur as per the ATR FCOM. So this is actually totally expected to happen. Also note how the glide slope mode has automatically armed without us manually pressing the approach button. So basically the airplane is establishing itself onto the ILS all by itself simply by selecting the correct ILS and 1 and 2 modes. And here is point number 9. We are established on the ILS, but we are running a little bit fast at the moment. So here's what you can do in order to help yourself slowing down. That is, increasing the condition levers from auto to 100%. That is going to increase the rotation speed of the propeller, which in turn is going to help creating more drag and thereby slowing our aircraft down more easily. That is going to give you a nice little boost in order to decelerate the airplane, and once you have reached your target deceleration speed, you're simply going to return the condition levers into the auto position. The NP is spooling down to 82% again, and that solves your deceleration problem. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you found this one interesting. If you did, then do let me know in the comments below. I'm really looking forward to see if you knew any of these tricks already, and if there is anything else that you find essential to know about the ATR 72. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again very soon. If you like what I'm doing, I would appreciate to see you as a channel member, which is going to give you exclusive early access to new videos before they are released for everyone else. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again very soon.